The new Renault 4e Tech might be one of the smartest electric cars released in recent years, not because it has the biggest screen or the fastest acceleration, but because Renault understood something most car companies seem to have forgotten. People don't actually need more complicated cars. They need cars that are easier to live with. And that's exactly why the Renault 4 is getting so much attention across Europe right now. When you first look at the Renault 4, the retro design immediately stands out. The upright shape, rectangular details, and simple proportions are inspired by the original Renault 4 from the 1960s, one of the most practical and successful cars Renault ever made. But unlike many retro-inspired vehicles that focus only on nostalgia, this design actually improves functionality. The tall roofline creates more headroom, the square rear end increases cargo space, and the upright windows improve visibility. In a world where many crossovers sacrifice practicality for sporty styling, the Renault 4 feels refreshingly honest about what it is supposed to do. One of the biggest reasons this car feels different is because Renault resisted the temptation to remove physical controls. Most modern EVs, especially expensive ones, now hide almost every function inside giant touchscreens. Adjusting temperature, fan speed, or heated seats often requires navigating multiple menus while driving, which can become frustrating and distracting. Renault decided to keep proper buttons and switches for important functions, and that single decision immediately makes the car easier to use than many luxury EVs costing twice as much. It sounds like a small detail, but after driving modern cars overloaded with touchscreen controls, physical buttons suddenly feel like a luxury feature. The Renault 4 also includes features that many expensive EV brands still charge extra for. One example is a standard heat pump. Most buyers don't pay attention to heat pumps during test drives, but they matter enormously in real-world ownership. In cold weather, electric cars lose efficiency because heating the cabin consumes battery energy. A heat pump reduces the energy usage and helps preserve driving range during winter conditions. Some premium manufacturers still treat this as an optional upgrade, but Renault includes it as standard because they understand that affordable EV buyers care about running costs and practicality more than flashy marketing features. Another surprisingly useful feature is vehicle-to-load functionality, also known as V2L. This allows the Renault 4 to supply power to external devices directly from the car's battery. You can charge laptops, power camping equipment, run tools, or even operate small household appliances during emergencies. It transforms a vehicle into a mobile power source, something that becomes genuinely useful in daily life. What makes this impressive is that several expensive EVs still don't offer this capability, despite costing significantly more. Renault also seems to understand modern driver frustrations better than many premium brands. Today's vehicles are filled with safety systems that constantly beep, vibrate, or interrupt the driving experience. Lane assist warnings, overspeed alerts, driver monitoring systems, and steering corrections can quickly become annoying, especially on narrow urban roads. Most manufacturers bury these settings deep inside touchscreen menus, forcing drivers to disable them every time they start the car. Renault introduced a shortcut button that quickly turns off unwanted driver assistance systems. That may sound insignificant in a press release, but in real-world driving it dramatically improved the ownership experience. It's the kind of thoughtful engineering detail that makes drivers appreciate the car every single day. The practicality of the Renault 4 is another major reason why reviewers believe it could become one of Europe's most important affordable EVs. Despite being compact enough for city driving, it offers a surprisingly large boot and excellent passenger space. The wide hatch opening and low loading height make it genuinely useful for families, shopping, luggage, or outdoor activities. Many futuristic crossovers prioritize appearance over usability, resulting in awkward rooflines and compromised storage areas. The Renault 4 avoids that mistake entirely. Its shape may look simple, but simplicity is exactly what makes it work so well. Weight is another area where Renault made intelligent decisions. Modern electric vehicles have become extremely heavy because manufacturers keep adding larger batteries, more screens, more motors, and increasingly complex technology. Heavy cars often feel disconnected from the road, consume more energy, wear through tires faster, and become less enjoyable in urban driving. The Renault 4 remains relatively lightweight compared to many rivals, and that affects nearly every aspect of the driving experience. The car feels more agile, more efficient, and more comfortable over uneven roads. Instead of trying to impress people with massive horsepower numbers, Renault focused on balance and efficiency. That philosophy continues inside the cabin. The infotainment system is based on Google software, but unlike many overly futuristic systems, it remains intuitive and straightforward to use. The menus are clear, navigation works smoothly, and voice commands are actually useful rather than frustrating. Some luxury EV interiors now resemble experimental technology demonstrations more than cars, filled with hidden functions and complicated interfaces. The Renault 4 feels modern without becoming intimidating, which is incredibly important for first-time EV buyers transitioning from traditional petrol cars. Another reason this car matters is because it arrives at exactly the right moment for the European market. Fuel prices remain high, emissions regulations continue tightening, and more cities are encouraging electric mobility. However, many EVs are still too expensive for average buyers. Renault recognized that there is enormous demand for practical, affordable electric crossovers that don't feel cheap. The Renault 4 occupies a sweet spot between premium EVs and basic budget cars. It offers enough range, technology, comfort, and personality to feel desirable without becoming financially unrealistic. The emotional appeal of the Renault 4 also plays a major role in its popularity. The original Renault 4 was one of Europe's great people's cars, known for being practical, affordable, and durable. Bringing that name back creates nostalgia for older generations while introducing younger buyers to a simpler philosophy of car design. Unlike some retro vehicles that feel like expensive lifestyle products, the Renault 4 stays true to the spirit of the original by focusing on usability and accessibility. One of the most interesting things about the Renault 4 is how it challenges assumptions about affordable cars. Traditionally, cheaper vehicles meant obvious compromises, uncomfortable interiors, poor technology, low-quality materials, or weak performance. But the Renault 4 doesn't really feel like a cheap car. Instead, it feels like a smart car designed around real priorities. It proves that innovation isn't about adding more features simply for marketing purposes. Sometimes innovation means removing unnecessary complexity and focusing on what actually improves daily life. This is also why many reviewers are comparing Renault's current strategy to what Volkswagen achieved decades ago with iconic practical cars. Renault seems determined to become the leader in mainstream affordable EVs before other manufacturers fully adapt. The Renault 5 created enormous excitement because it combined retro design with affordability and strong engineering. The Renault 4 takes that formula and adds more practicality, making it potentially even more important for mainstream buyers. Driving the Renault 4 also reinforces its identity as a comfortable everyday EV rather than a performance machine pretending to be practical. Acceleration is smooth and responsive, visibility is excellent, and the suspension prioritizes comfort over fake sportiness. Many modern crossovers try to appear aggressive and sporty even though most owners simply use them for commuting, shopping, school runs, and weekend trips. Renault avoided that trap by designing a car that feels relaxed, approachable, and genuinely pleasant in everyday situations. There's also something refreshing about the honesty of the Renault 4's design. It doesn't try too hard to look futuristic or revolutionary. Instead, it embraces familiar shapes and practical solutions while quietly integrating modern EV technology underneath. That balance between familiarity and innovation is probably one of the biggest reasons people connect with a car emotionally. It feels modern without feeling alien. In many ways, the Renault 4 represents a shift happening across the automotive industry. For years, EV manufacturers focus on extremes: extreme acceleration, extreme screens, extreme technology, and extreme prices. But now the market is maturing. Buyers increasingly want electric cars that simply fit naturally into daily life. They want comfort, practicality, affordability, and reliability more than they want dramatic performance statistics. The Renault 4 understands that shift better than many competitors. And perhaps that's the biggest reason why this car matters so much. It isn't trying to become the fastest EV or the most luxurious EV. It's trying to become the EV people actually want to own every day. A car that feels practical, efficient, friendly, and intelligently designed. In a market increasingly filled with overly complicated vehicles chasing trends, that approach suddenly feels revolutionary. The Renault 4 proves that affordable cars can still have character, thoughtful engineering, and genuine innovation. It shows that practical design decisions can matter more than flashy technology. And most importantly, it demonstrates that electric vehicles don't need to feel cold or complicated to succeed. Sometimes the smartest cars are the ones that simply make life easier.